Welcome to episode 2. Today, the game has changed. If you've been watching this show, you know we talk about a certain standard of excellence. But today, we're seeing what happens when those standards are literally set on fire. While most of the country was asleep, just in case you didn't know, you were asleep, I was up. That's why I got these bags under my eyes that's looking like I could carry $50 worth of groceries. I was up. But while the rest of the world was asleep on Saturday night, that little narrow stretch of ocean called the Strait of Hormuz, was literally on fire. Small Iranian attack vessels attacked a United Kingdom or British oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. And the global economy was hit with a body blow that may or may not bring us to our knees. Your mid-Sunday commute, your little gathering after church, you're hanging around the house hoping something good comes on TV, just got a bit more interesting. And you don't even know why. But it's not just the global stage. Closer to home, a major American institution, well, I don't know if you could call Spirit Air a major American institution. That whole more like Soul Plane. Let's just say an American airline, not American Airlines, but an American airline, just slammed its doors shut permanently, literally leaving families stranded all over the United States of America, including but not limited to some of these Caribbean islands. And to make matters worse, they've incorporated a draconian refund policy. And when I say draconian, you basically know that means you ain't getting no refund. As people who are customers of Spirit Air are saying that they are literally being scammed out of their money, being given ridiculously long waits, months long, for their refunds. We're talking about a refund scam, literally. The arrogant Spirit Airlines, which their arrogance, I think, might have led to their downfall. Well, the Democrats led to their downfall. Let's be real. But they're operating more like a syndicate than a business. And lastly, but not least, we're going to look at a prestigious university, South Carolina State University, a historically black college, where the idiotic students of that college rejected a commencement speech from the lieutenant governor of the state, saying that she's MAGA and her ideals don't represent the values of their college. I didn't know they owned the college. I didn't know that only a small segment of the college's population's values or lack thereof represented the values of everybody on the campus. But they rejected a commencement speech by the lieutenant governor of the state, which now is bringing them in the crosshairs of the federal government and may result in them losing some funding. Good job. Good job, kids. We'll get into that. But we're talking about a refund scam. We're talking about an energy trap with Iran. And we're talking about a graduation gamble by these moronic students at South Carolina State University. If you want to really know who's pulling the strings to all this and how you stay, let's say, dangerous in a world that wants to make you weak, hit that like button. Keep coming back to this channel, because today and for every day after this, on this channel, the truth will be more than just a suggestion. It's literally going to be a survival tactic. So let's get right into this situation, shall we? Bada boom, bada bing.
We're continuing to follow some breaking news near the Strait of Hormuz, and I did want to share this with you. This is a social media post by Fox News stating that a large cargo ship reports being attacked by multiple small boats in the Strait of Hormuz, just 11 miles from Iran's coast. I also wanted to share this live look of the Strait of Hormuz with you right here as we continue to follow that breaking news. And as you're taking this live look at the map right there, we did want to share with you, you're taking a look at green areas as well as red areas. Those green symbols that you're seeing there live, those are cargo vessels there in the Strait of Hormuz. The red symbols are tankers. So the very latest information is that a cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz said that it was attacked by multiple small craft. That's according to the British military's United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center, marking at least 24 attacks in and around the strait since the Iran war began. Meanwhile, Tehran said that it was reviewing the U.S. response to its latest proposal on ending the war, but it also made clear that these were not nuclear negotiations. All crew on the unidentified northbound cargo ship were safe after the attack. That is according to the British Monitor. And Iranian officials have asserted that they control the strait and that ships not affiliated with the United States or Israel can pass if they pay a toll.
Okay. So they want people to pay to go through a piece of international waters, which is absolutely wild. But hey, that's where we are. The Strait of Hormuz right now is effectively a war zone. I don't want anybody to get that misconstrued. You have the Iranian interest, the small little attack boats that are threatening civilian targets, right? They're not fighting the United States military that has basically put belt to ass on them for the past 2.5 months, right? They're literally attacking civilian vessels because there's nothing they can do to the United States military, right? So to all the people who are like, oh, they're winning the war. I mean, they might be winning the war against innocent civilians who have nothing to do with the conflict. That essentially to me would be considered terrorism because you're not fighting the people fighting you. You're fighting people who actually refuse to help the United States kick your ass. Let's see how far that's going to get you. So at this point, Iran is creating a situation where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And this is the message I keep trying to communicate to all of our beautiful, wonderful, liberal, Trump-hating friends. Now, I understand that you have to go against the war because you don't like Trump. That's fine. Forget Trump. Trump's fucking up. Let's just get that out. Trump's messing up. Okay, we can say it. I can be MAGA. Look, I could be MAGA and say that the president has made some blunders as far as the military execution, one of which is taking his foot off the gas and taking his foot off Iran's neck. So let's get that out of the way. Trump is effing up. In your mind, that's what you believe. Let's go with that. But here's the problem, and here's where your family's in danger. We're dealing with a regime of terrorists, which they've been called terrorists for the last 47 years, because that's exactly what they are. And what do we know to be the characteristics of a terrorist? A terrorist does not attack directly against the enemy that he is facing. He instead attacks innocent civilians in an attempt to get the enemy to back off. So the IRGC, or this fragment of it, they are literally operating as terrorists the whole time, trying to go to the UN and argue on the basis of international law. So that's like the bully is beating me up, right? Let's say, and I don't want to walk home because the bully's waiting on me. So I go beat up on some little girl at my school, so that, and beat the crap out of her. And I tell the principal, hey, if you don't do something about this bully, I'm gonna keep kicking little Becky Sue's ass. Bro, you would be arrested for terrorist threats, even as a kid. I saw a kid where that happened, right? When I was younger. So why don't we just call the IRGC what it is? You can call America a terrorist organization. You could say America does all these bad things and look. Okay, let's pretend like all that's true. If at the least, like I always say, especially when confronted with the Israel argument, there are no good guys here. The IRGC is not good. Iran is not good. Israel, they're not good. The Zionists are not good. The United States, I mean, I love the United States, so I want the United States to be the good guy. But no, we have our bad things we do too. But it's a dirty game, baby. And sometimes you got to get down and dirty to let them know that you ain't playing with their ass. And that's what I feel is the position that Donald Trump is in. But my question is this. The UK literally did everything in their power to push against the United States invading, or whooping up on Iran, right? They wouldn't let us use the bases that we literally pay for. They wouldn't send any help, any naval help. They basically said, we're not in it. You know, they condemned the United States, all that. Why are they being attacked? Because you can never negotiate with terrorists. That's why. You can never negotiate with terrorists. And I would honestly like for anyone who hears someone talking about how virtuous and how amazing the IRGC is, please, how are they virtuous and amazing when we all know that they wouldn't hesitate for a second to kill every single innocent person in America if they thought that that would stop America from attacking them or blocking the strait, because America's not even attacking them anymore. They're just blocking the strait. We're going to keep the stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz so that you will never get a nuclear weapon. Do you know how fast I would have been like, you know what? Me getting a nuclear weapon is not worth losing everything. But continuously, we see that these low IQ individuals are like, we must have a nuke. Bro, you're going to lose everything. There's an old saying, what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world if he loses his soul? What does it benefit you to gain a nuke if you lose your whole damn country and all your damn GDP? And that's what Iran is literally doing. They're ready to throw away the wealth of their country because a lot of those oil wells can't, if they run dry, they won't be able to open them back up, which I don't really believe that. Where there's greed involved, people will find a way. But why is having a nuke so important to these people? And to me, that proves what's been said about Iran for the past 47 years. You are not that desperate for a nuke unless you have some intention, unless that nuke is crucial to some plot or plan that you have going forward. Literally, Iran, you know, all they're proving is that they were never a reliable source for oil or any type of resource globally. I mean, guys, think about that. I will destroy my country, kill thousands, because they've killed tens of thousands of their own citizens. I will collapse the economy further than I already have, and I will attack nations that for all intents and purposes were on my side just so I can get a nuke. Iran, if any of your leaders hear this, or the ones who are up in heaven, hey guys, how you liking those virgins? If any of them can hear me, understand this. The risk ain't outweighing, the reward ain't outweighing the risk. The reward is not outweighing the risk. You want to nuke that bad to where you're willing to lose everything. That is so dumb to me. There's no way. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, right? Ain't there a song that say that? They clearly never heard that song. The reality is we should have never created a globalist reliance on an unstable region like Iran. And we need to just drill right here at home, which we already do that thanks to Trump, and just leave them in piss, which is essentially what they're in right now. Iran is playing with fire because in their mind, they're telling themselves America's weak. Those weak Americans, they'll force President Trump to pull out pause of the Strait of Hormuz and stop blocking us. They're weak. They can't. They don't know they can't, but they don't understand. While they're talking about how weak we are, we over here doing Michael Jackson dances on TikTok, not even thinking about them. It's stupid. It's literally time that they're reminded that American safety is bought with American dollars and is built on American energy, and our commander-in-chief, who does not negotiate with terrorists, unfortunately for them, is just like me. He's very defiant. We're kindred souls in that way. I wonder if they could, I hear something. Maybe that's the Ayatollah spirit coming back from the grave. I don't know. But guys, it's just what it is. You can feel however you want about it. You could be mad. You could be upset. You can be angry. It's not going to change anything. Because little do you understand or know, the Democrats are right in on this as well as the Republicans. Because unlike most of us, they're not playing the short game. 2 months, oh my God. They're playing the long game. Do you know how much they're going to make in the stock market? Do y'all notice that the stock market is booming right now while your gas is going up? Well, if they have money invested in the oil companies, they're making money off of your misery. But here's the problem. The more you go against, Iran's the hero, the more they're going to let it happen until your sentiment changes. They're going to wait until you literally either totally forget about it or until you just accept it and capitulate to whatever they want to do. And then they're going to end it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to end it. Because this is past the point of just a conventional war. This is now a battle of wills, right? It's a battle of attrition when it comes to the psyche and cultural significance of this U.S.-Iran conflict. Trump doesn't look like the type who's going to just give up an L, which I don't even see how it could be an L at this point. But he's not going to take a loss out of a clear victory. He'll just sit there and strangle them for the time being. And really, no one's oil in America is really being affected by Iran other than California. Because we're dumb enough to send our oil. We pump the oil here. We send it to China. They refine it, then send it back. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're really mad about your oil prices, we should be mad at the people who thought of doing dumb shit like that. So they could close down refineries in America. They send it to China. China refines our shit and then sends it back. Basically like sells it back to us. That's so stupid. I don't know, Theo, who do you think is winning the war? But guys, yeah, if you want to come up and tell me who you think is winning the war and why, this is a beautiful Sunday show. We're chilling. We're hanging out. We're relaxing. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. And I was shooting some b-ball outside of the... But you can hit the link in the comments and come on up. But yeah, Iran is smoking. They're tripping. And I'm telling you, you guys think we have it bad? They got it way worse. This is literally one of those you should see the other guy moments. They're getting cooked. WW obviously losing. All media not tell. Glady, garbage. We obviously losing. The media is not telling us. Girl, the world is wide open. The way you think the mainstream media got all the information is crazy. It's literally YouTubers in Iran right now. They went into Azerbaijan and crossed the border into Iran, floating all through that hole. Stop. The mainstream media ain't got no monopoly on no media. You crazy right now. I call my damn cousin right now. Let me see. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Let me call my other cousin. Let me see what he says. Let me see what he says. Cause I got folks over there. Hold on real quick. I'll ask him. I'll get an update from the bro. But yeah, man, people are crazy. We are obviously losing because my telekinesis told me so. How do you really know? That's the part that kills me. How do you really even begin to suggest that we're losing? Because you're saying that the mainstream media is lying to you. And if you're watching the mainstream media, that means that that's your primary source of information, right? So how do you trust that they're telling you the truth? That's my biggest thing. How do you know? How do you know? Like, okay, so basically people are not looking at facts. They're saying whatever the media says, I'll believe the opposite. The media says this is good. Oh, it must be bad. The media says this is bad. Oh, it must be good. You can't prove anything like that. You can't come to any type of real conclusion like that. I call that wishful thinking. I'm trying to find this damn dude number because I always talk to him through, certain encrypted methods. But damn, for some reason I can't find it. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Oh, damn, my other fucking phone. Oh, sorry. My other phone is in my backpack. Hold on. I'll hit him up right here. I hope he's not at work. Yo, Nick.
Hi.
Yo, what's up?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm good. I was just calling you. Are you like super busy? I wanted like 13 seconds of your time.
No, man. Go for it. You're in Kenya right now, aren't you?
No. I'm in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what's going on with the situation in the Hormuz. Just like a real brief, like 1 or 2 minute, like if you could just tell me like what are we hearing out of the strait right now?
Hey, there's a lot of troops moving into the area, and there's a lot of military activity right now in southern Europe. They are moving. They've been flying troops into Sicily, which is below Italy.
Right.
Like weekly. The base. I was talking to a buddy, and he was like, "Yeah," he said every room on the base. There's 2 bases there in Sicily, the large bases. He said every single barracks room is full and has four Marines or Army personnel in each room.
Whoa, 4 to a room?
Yeah, and these are 2-people rooms.
Whoa.
And they're doubling up too, and they're even like putting up tents because they said they got so many troops moving in, and it's being kept off the TV because these guys are flying over at night.
Oh.
So nobody's being able to like take pictures of them, leave them from like Fort Bragg and out of DC where they're flying out of. So I mean, there's a lot of activity going on, and there's a lot of ships over there. I don't think it's going to be an invasion of Iran. I do not think it's going to be an invasion of Iran, but I think they are planning to take over that little isthmus right there where the Strait of Hormuz is.
Oh, okay. Okay, so as far as like the situation with like the combat, would you say the United States is in a position of advantage, or is Iran in a position of advantage? Who do you think would you say, if you were calling balls and strikes, is winning this conflict at this point, based on what you're hearing?
Oh, the U.S. definitely has the advantage, and I'm not saying that just because. The U.S. does have the advantage. Iran right now is in total disarray. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that is not being put out here in the U.S. You got to look at like European news, Indian news, see what's going on in Iran. There is nobody really in control of Iran right now. You got 4 fractions. You have parliament, okay, which is low level. It's you can't equate it to the authority that Congress in the United States have. Parliament in Iran is very like low level authority. You have the president of Iran, who is effectively not doing anything because he doesn't want to step out of his house because he doesn't want to get bombed by Israel. United States because he wasn't elected. He's in there because of secession. You have the Iranian Republican Guard. They are the fanatics. They are the true believers. They are the diehards. They are threatening to kill members of the Iranian Iranian parliament and the Iranian president if they talk to the United States and try and make any deal. All right, so they are threatening to kill members of parliament. They're threatening to kill the president. They're threatening to kill their families if they talk. And then you have the Ayatollahs, who are supposed to be are the Iranian Republican Guard. Excuse me. But they don't even have control over all of Iran anymore. A lot of Iran is just functioning on its own. It's gone tribal. And what I mean by tribal is they're just operating independently. It's like little towns and villages that are just like, well, all right, we don't have anybody here. You know, we're not paying taxes anymore. We're just doing things on our own.
So it's basically like martial law type.
Yeah, they're doing it in Tehran and Safraz and some of the cities around Tehran. There's basically martial law, but like the Iranian people, they've burned down the apartment buildings and the homes that a lot of the members of parliament live in. So like members of parliament aren't even going out. And like I said, members of parliament are very low level. They have like the authority of like city council members here in the United States. And they're the Congress of Iran. Really, Iran does not have much military capability. They're going out and they're looking for fishing boats to use as attack vessels.
Okay.
They're trying to mount missiles on the back of Toyotas because they don't have any armored personnel carriers anymore. Those things, their military has been totally decimated. Now that does not mean they don't have weapons. It just means they don't have the equipment, the military equipment, to haul around those weapons. So they put a missile on a Toyota truck and they go try and drive it to another village, and Iran or the United States sees a truck with a big old dildo on it. It's like boom.
As soon as they see it. Okay, so basically it's just like a build-up. Basically, the United States is trying to build up enough to show around like, look, we could if we want to, but you need to, you know, basically it seems to me they're trying to intimidate the IRGC. Like, oh my God, America's mobilizing. Do we really have a chance? But it seems like the IRGC is just functioning like a terrorist group. And that's what I was kind of saying. Like, they're just proving exactly what we've been saying about them for the past almost 50 years. They're just a bunch of terrorists who have control over a country. I would even rank them lower when it comes to legitimacy than the president of North Korea.
Yeah, the IRGC right now, I think a good comparison would be like how the Japanese army was prior to and during World War II. You had the emperor, you had the Japanese parliament, but the Japanese army shut them all down and took control of the country and dictated all foreign policy. You got to remember, like World War II history here, the Emperor of Japan did not want war. He did not sign off on it. He was put under house arrest by the Japanese army, and the Japanese army forced the war. They actually forced the Japanese Navy to do the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So what's going on in the comparison here is the IRGC is kind of forcing the Ayatollah and Parliament to not engage with the United States. But they don't really like I said, they really don't like the guy who is the supreme Ayatollah now. They think he's homosexual, which is like a no-no for them. But they don't want to be the ones to kill him. I think they're going to kind of like push him out and see if maybe Israel or the U.S. will hit him. But anyway.
So he's like their legitimacy. He like gives them legitimacy, so they'll keep him around as kind of like a figurehead.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I was going with this. That's exactly what the Japanese army did with the emperor. They were like, okay, we're going to keep him in his temple, and he's going to have servants, but he's not going to have any real authority. And that's what the IRGC is kind of done with the Ayatollah. But no, the United States is, I will tell you right now, I do not believe for one moment that President Trump has any intent on launching an invasion of Iran itself. This is not going to be like Iraq, where we did the road to Baghdad and rode right into Baghdad, splitting Iraq in half. I don't think Trump has any intention of invading Iran as an entire country. But it does look like they are seriously considering taking over that whole isthmus of Hormuz, that little area, and then it's like, fuck the rest of Iran. You guys can starve, or you can make a deal with us, but we're going to take over this area.
Okay, so I heard it from you first, and I'm taking that prediction to the bank. So what we're thinking, because I'm thinking the same thing like you're thinking, and what it's looking like, we're going to just block Iran out of the Strait totally, so they can have no impact on the Strait of Hormuz and let them go to hell in their own country if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's where it's looking. Because I'll tell you, all of the Arabs are on board with taking over the Isthmus of Hormuz.
Yeah, I was reading about that this morning. UAE is like super ready to like just eliminate Iran from the Strait.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let me call you back. I'll
Yeah.
call you back after I'm done with this. Let me hit you back for the sake of time.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, sure.
All right.
All right.
So, like, I'm telling you guys, one thing you're going to understand when you're dealing with people who know about the military, that's why a lot of people in the military don't talk to, like, just regular people who don't understand the way the military works. The way they look at situations is totally different from the way you, as a civilian, looks at it. See, because, like, when he brought up the situation where the United States is probably what they're going to probably do is they're going to just take over the Strait itself and just totally box Iran out of the Strait, you weren't even thinking about that. Like, if you say, yeah, I thought, you're lying. You thought, and this is what everyone's saying, oh, they're going to invade Iran, and then we're going to be bogged down in a war for 20 or 30 years. That's what you thought was going to happen because that's what you've heard over the mainstream media. But your mind never thought. The United States sticks a aircraft carrier over there. They put some troops, fast response troops right over there, and the IRG they basically starved the IRGC of any ability to bring in weapons or anything like that, and then they use the other countries, right? That because there are other countries, if you look at the map, which I don't know if you guys know about maps, there are a lot of other countries whose borders sit right on the Strait of Hormuz. So if the United States is cool with those countries will say, hey, they're messing up business. They're bad for business. So let's just isolate them. And that's what I'm noticing. And that's what my cousin is saying too. And we have another cousin who's right in the Persian Gulf right now. He's also a cryptologist. So I know that when we're saying things like, nothing can be said like this, that. Because if you start talking about shit that's actually happening, they'll be like, yo, how is this person knowing this? Somebody's telling. You see how that lady got, the lady who leaked to the BBC about the pilot being down? You see she's on trial right now. She's looking at spending the rest of her life in jail. You cannot take information directly from a source in the military and be like, let me go tell that to the public. That's against the law. So you have to kind of, it's looking like they're gonna, yeah. And the fact that you guys are like, this is chatter. No, you guys just don't understand how to listen to what's being said. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because I can listen to what's being said and then I can know what he's saying. But nobody is going to get on a phone call with you who knows anything. Like, this guy was a cryptologist in the Navy. Do you guys know what that is? Do you even know what a cryptologist is? I'm talking about lived in Russia for like 5 or 6 years. He's a career guy. I mean, living in Russia doing intelligence. Like, these guys are serious business. And I have other friends who I don't even call or anything about this. Even people I train jiu-jitsu, Army Rangers, Special Forces, all that stuff. But if you guys know about a cryptologist, which is what he was in the military, you'll understand that's their job. An expert in science of designing and breaking encryption codes to secure sensitive information. They are essential in cybersecurity, defense, and financing, protecting data from unauthorized access. So if you don't think this guy knows how to say something without saying it, you're out of your mind. That's what he specializes in. And let me tell you, bro talks like he's from the South. Bro is from California like me. But he knows how to say things in a way to where it's like, I wouldn't assume that guy's doing anything. Bro know how to go in and, I'm just a tourist, man. I'm just out here, I'm telling you, I used to hang around this dude like every summer. But we're cousins through marriage. He's obviously a Caucasian person. But we're cousins through marriage ever since I was very small. But just understand that and I want you to understand how you are now privy to some very interesting strategic thinking, because nobody was thinking, they might just isolate Iran. But see, that's why you know that you don't know more than the military knows. The generals, they know. They've been doing this for a long time. These guys been fighting battles for the generals that are the generals now were the generals when we were in Iraq. Many of them were generals, were the people fighting in Desert Storm. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. Cutting Iran off totally and just isolating them, way easier than invading and trying to fight a war with them. Way easier. Because even right now, let me ask you guys the $1 million question. If Iran has capability, why aren't they shooting missiles at the American ships that are going in and out of the Strait of Hormuz every day? If they have this capability, why aren't they doing it? Well, they're not doing it because, one, if they shoot a missile, it will immediately be tracked and the missile launcher will be destroyed, and it will give away their position, strategic, their positions. So they're really in a position where they're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so they have to operate like terrorists. And let me tell you something. Terrorists ain't stopping shit. You know how many Somali pirates and stuff is on the water? They're not stopping maritime trade because the military knows how to deal with them. So now, if you really want to look at it, Iran has been reduced to the equivalent of Somali pirates. Think about that, though. Iran has been reduced to the relevance of Somali pirates. They're on small boats trying to attack maritime vessels, and guess what? They'll be dealt with. So you want me to step back? I'm not standing up, so I can lean back. But yeah, Iran is being reduced to the they're Somali pirates at this point. I mean, if you really think about it, because the strait is still closed, because what are they doing? They're using small boats to go and attack maritime vessels, trying to demand a ransom. So right now you can't be like the big ships that we have. Those ships aren't even designed to be able to go in and escort maritime vessels through the strait. So the United States is like, okay, that's cool. We bringing in more resources. And they're basically what they're going to do is they're going to do what they're doing in the Caribbean. They're just going to use drones to fly overhead. Oh, we got something. Boom, dead. Oh, we got something. Boom. And that's what I'm telling you. We live in a world where people have the attention span of like a gnat, right? 2 months is super short when it comes to war. 3 months is super short when it comes to war. How long were we in? We were in the war in Iran. I mean, in Iraq, bro. That thing lasted for years, and no one was like, "Oh, that took too long." You 3 months is lightning when it comes to war. Trump is moving at a great pace, and he's reduced one of the strongest militaries in the world to piracy, basically, and begging for ransoms in 2 months. If you would have told somebody that we were going to go to war or into a battle against Iran, and they were going to be in fast boats with no Navy, military, Air Force, nothing in 2.5 months, no one would have believed you. What are you talking about? America has hypersonic missiles. They're sending them to Iran right now. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys, hey man, you guys are so crazy. I think it's funny because it makes good, it makes for good conversation. It makes for really good conversation, guys. United States is just deployed hypersonics to Iran. And they're also deploying hypersonics to Gaza, if you weren't paying, because Israel has found what they say is a Hezbollah tunnel. They found it they're saying 25 or 30 feet underground. So now they want to send those hypersonic missiles to Gaza and Iran. Yeah, I don't know how y'all didn't know about this. Guys, understand, I know a lot of news. What I choose to report on is based on importance. So, yeah, they don't have no answer. Yeah, they do. Hypersonic missiles. And let me tell you something. If Iran had hypersonics to launch, they would have launched them by now. Or if they had the ability, they would have launched them. Because with a hypersonic missile, you could take out one aircraft carrier. So why wouldn't they? This is a fight now. This ain't no, I'm trying to hold back. This is a fight. They did all types of shit. This is a real fight. Don't ain't no point in trying to pull punches now. You in the shit. Yes. Oh yes, the shit. Remember Tales from the Hood? You in it though.
As the U.S. and Iran are at a stalemate over peace talks, let's bring in former Secretary of Defense Mark Esper to break down where things might go next. Secretary, great to have you. So the CENTCOM commander visited the White House this week and laid out different options for the president and what he might want to do next. What do you think those options included?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's probably a resumption of hostilities as we have seen over the last 8 weeks, which would mean a coordinated air and naval campaign with Israel against any variety of military and political targets throughout the whole of Iran. That's number one. Number two might be a more limited operation in the sense that it's geographically focused on the Strait of Hormuz, where we try to dislodge Iranian naval units, Iranian cruise missile defense, coastal defense units all along the strait, so we could free it up and make sure that to the degree possible, the Iranians are no longer able to threaten commercial shipping. So to me, that's the range of options. There are others in between there that might work, but it seems like right now that while the president is reluctant to resume conflict and rather let the economic sanctions take some more effect.
Yeah, the economic sanctions, they are hurting Iran very much. I want to ask you about this headline that caught my attention this week because there has been some concerns on Capitol Hill about weapons and being ready for the long haul if we have to be. This is on hypersonic missiles. It says the U.S. wants to use hypersonic missiles on Iran. Problem is, it may not work. Although it completed some successful tests in 2024, the Dark Eagle
repeatedly failed to launch during other tests because of launcher and production quality issues. And an unnamed defense official told Fox News that the weapon has reached initial operational capability, but the Pentagon testing office says it won't have enough data to evaluate Dark Eagle's combat effectiveness until at least early 2027. This new sophisticated hypersonic missile, is this something that the U.S. is behind on that you're aware of? And do we know if countries like China and Russia have these?
So Russia and China do have hypersonic weapons. It's hard to really understand completely what they can do, their capabilities, the reliability, so forth and so on. We have hypersonic weapons in development as well. It started at least during my era when I was Secretary of the Army in 2017 and 2018. And they are effective systems, and I have no problem testing them in this scenario. As you may know, we tested what was called the PRISM long-range rocket system not long ago against Iran. It was another system developed during my time, or launched during my time at least. So, look, I think a conflict like this can be a good testing ground for weapon systems. When it comes to munitions, though, I'm far more concerned about the state of play with regard to THAAD and Patriot, JASSMs, LRASMs, the whole panoply of high-end missiles that we've expended through not just this conflict, but sharing with Israel, providing to Ukraine, so forth and so on. Our defense industrial base is not in the shape it needs to be for the long haul, particularly if we get in some type of extended conflict with China, and that's what concerns me most.
We have some Patriot missiles in Poland, too. I remember I was at the border when the war started on Ukraine. I saw them. I mean, they're incredible in person, and we're supposed to, I don't know if we have yet, give weapons to Taiwan as well, because there's a threat of China. So, yeah, we're expended in multiple different places, which is why I think that the Secretary of War and the Pentagon is asking for $1.5 trillion in a brand new budget. Democrats have a big problem with this number, but they also.
Okay, so they're telling you right now they're already going to be deployed. I already got that from reliable source. So I would say even the news, Fox News is a little bit behind. The weapons are already on their way. They're already gone. So to think, oh, they're not, they're gone already. And if they might say, hey, let's test them out here. But my question, and guys, listen, you're going to see a lot of people say a lot of shit, right? But you know people don't think things through. That's one of the biggest problems with America. You have a lot of people who really do not think things through. Their brains are not programmed because they're social media brain. They just 30-second clip, 20-second clip, 5-second clip, 30-second clip, 1-minute clip. So their brain operates like that. They think a thought, then they move to the next subject. Guys, you got people in the comments, right? This Claudette is like this. The whole crux, and I think that's spelled CRUX, is the whole crux of the matter is the strait is closed, right? The United States doesn't bring anything through the Strait of Hormuz. They don't. One state, California, brings oil that they send to the strait to China, then back from China back to California to use it. So less than 1% of our oil comes through the strait. So that's not hurting us. But if we take control of the strait for the forever, can you imagine? Could you imagine the benefit to our country that would be? Could you imagine that? You know, we would control global oil. We would control China and everybody. We would control all their energy, which we're controlling it now because nobody can get through. So this is what you're saying. So I want to just explain this to people who have logical thinking ability. They're saying the strait is closed, right? If Iran is winning, why haven't they opened up the strait? We know they need the strait to survive. That's like saying this. I got my hand around your neck, choking the shit out of you. And you got your hand, on my nipple, squeezing the shit out of it. Who you think gonna die first? I got your neck and I'm choking the shit out of you like this. And you got me by the nipple squeezing the shit. Yeah, it hurts. Oh shit, you got my nipple. But bro, you could squeeze my nipple for 10 years and I'm not gonna die. How long can I choke the shit out of you without you dying? That's a different. That was the perfect analogy. Give me some on that one. Give me some of that analogy. You got my nipple. Yes, that hurts. It's very annoying. It's painful. But I got you by the fucking neck. I got you by the nuts. Right? It ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. They're already being choked. Some see that's the gnat like you can't choke them from the sea. Okay. Well, then why are they choking? Why are they losing 500 million a day? Why are their oil wells drying up? You can't do it, but it's happening. You can't do it. It's like telling somebody, it's like when black folks stand around the police beating the shit out of somebody. And they say, hey, you can't do that. They're doing it. Obviously they can. There might be negative consequences later on, but obviously they can do it because they're doing it. You can't take that out the store without paying. I'm taking it out the store without paying. Maybe I'll go to jail, but I'm doing it. So I just want people who want to know, who want to live in reality and not fantasy, understand something. You can't say you're winning if you ain't bringing money in. The United States stock market is booming right now. Money coming in. Money coming in. Everybody is still paid. We doing Michael Jackson dances over here. They are over there strangulated. They ain't getting nothing in. And China ain't getting can't take no oil up out of there unless the United States say, yeah, y'all could take a little oil so y'all could keep moving, so y'all could keep producing the shit y'all make for us. But ain't no deals being made with Iran by nobody. So I just want y'all to understand, you could keep saying it all you want to. That don't mean it's true. People who know, they know. You know, we know. I'm getting good information. I'm getting solid information. But what I want you to do is take advantage of what we just found out or what we just, we learned. So it's looking like they're doing a choking strategy. They're trying to isolate Iran, not invade Iran. See, everyone was, invasion, because that's how our minds are wired based on the past. But I think we're dealing with a way smarter president who actually listens to his commanders and his generals. And I think they're like, look, we could just choke. They can't beat them in a land battle. Well, we would obliterate Iran in a land battle. 1, 2, we don't need to make it a land battle. We can make it a naval battle easily, and they got no navy. You guys don't know how many nations we whooped out with just navy. Because, like Japan, if you know your history, Japan didn't want to open its markets to trade with the United States. You know what the United States did? They went and put a warship on the coast of Japan. And it was like, if you don't open this market up for trade within 1 year, we're going to bring these ships back and we're going to reduce this island to rubble. And guess what? When the United States came back a year later, Japan was opened up for international trade. So y'all can say what y'all want to. My biggest question to y'all is this. Look, I want you guys to realize how ignorant people are. Oh, Japan has Iran has hypersonics. Russia, China. Why they ain't use them then? I'll wait. Why they not using them? Why they not using them? She could tell me she got a fat cootie, but if I ain't never seen it or felt it, it might as well not exist. I don't know if it is real until I see it or until she uses it on me. That's the same thing. But I understand why a lot of black people fall for this, because that's what black folks do well. Sell wolf tickets. Would you believe me if I told y'all most black folks can't even fight? But they sell them wolf tickets like that. It's like, don't believe that. Don't believe that. Black folks holler, F the police. Police slap their mama. Oh, why'd you slap my mama? Not doing nothing. That's like Iran them. They gonna keep talking. They gonna keep talking. And the United States gonna keep hitting their ass. And you know what they gonna do? When they get it, they gonna keep talking. China, they not in it. China is on Iran, urging them to surrender. Like, give it up. Russia, they fighting for their life. Oh, now I understand. Black exhaustion. Oh, you guys are from No Jumper. Okay, I get it. Let me help show y'all the door. Bro, y'all thought Tam was cool, and y'all see how she turned out. I ain't selling no wolf tickets. I'm looking at the facts and I'm just sharing them with you. And yes, no matter how much you want to cheer for Iran, Iran is logistically, statistically, and holistically incapable of winning this conflict. You've already been shown that. Now you can deny the facts, but that is what it is. Just tell me, why hasn't Iran opened up the strait yet? If Iran is winning, why can't they bring anything through the strait? They need to bring things through the strait. They need to take the oil. Iran got tankers in the South China Sea right now with oil on them that they use for storage. They can't even bring the oil back to their country to use it, but they winning. You can't win if you're getting whooped. That's a win. But my people, I understand us. We believe in something called a moral victory. But unfortunately, in war, there are no moral victories. You either getting your ass whooped or you're not. But guys, let's move on to the next topic. We have dedicated an hour to this, which it was an hour worth spending. We're losing. We need it open, not them. Can you tell me why? Look, I'm going to put this up. The Dread Pirate Rob, why do we need the strait open? If he don't answer this question, you know he's full of crap, guys. We'll wait for Dread Pirate Rob to answer the question. I'll give you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. He's never going to answer the question. That's the secret. All right, so let's move on, guys. So we have to go to our next story, this scam going on with Spirit Airlines. Because apparently, though they sold a bunch of people tickets with a good, I would say they had at least reasonable knowledge. I'm not going to say that. They knew for damn sure that they were going to end up going out of business. Because you don't just like, oh, wow, we're suddenly out of business. You see the writing on the wall, right? You see the writing on the wall. Spirit Airlines is dead. They shut down as of 3 a.m. yesterday morning. But the real story is not even the horrible airline shutting down. Nobody liked them anyway. The real story is this refund scam. They aren't processing your money. They've literally gone dark. And why? Because they spent your money on bad bets, and now they want you to wait in line behind their big bank creditors, the people who loaned them money. This is where personal accountability has to come in. If you're still looking for the government to save you from your $40 ticket purchase, you're literally missing the point. You have to be like a CEO when it comes to your own life. You use the chargeback, call your bank, and stop betting on budget brands that do not value excellence. And I come from a community that when it comes to clothes, we will break the bank. But when it comes to flights, we're scrimping and pinching and trying to pay as little as possible. This failure of the system should literally be a warning to you. Not everyone values excellence. Not everyone operates based on a standard of excellence. That's just the reality. So if you do business with people who do not have a standard of excellence, you're going to be just like these people, mad at Spirit Airlines because they can't get their refund. Excellence is not just a word. It's not just something that you use or you implement at a certain point in your life. You literally have to have a standard for your life that's based around excellence. You know, when I was younger and I was broker, I used to kind of wonder, like, man, why we don't, I look at my granny and them, why my grandma loved Cadillac, right? My grandpa, that's the only kind of car he used to buy. Cadillac. And I used to always think, like, why do he always want to buy a Cadillac? Why we can't buy a Toyota, or something, it's one of these other type of cars, right? But then as I got older, I understood it. In my mind, I would think back like, damn, you know what? My granny car was never breaking down. Damn, you know what? We was never stuck on the side of the road in my granny or my grandpa car. Why was that? Because they had a standard of excellence when it came to what kind of vehicles they were going to buy. And they stayed with that Cadillac until the Cadillac was no longer the best there was. But how many people go to the dealership and say, oh, you know what, I just want anything that's cheap. And then all of a sudden they having a problem with it every week. And now they mad. They don't blame themselves. Oh, this person got over on me. They sold me this piece of junk. And it's like, nah, bro, you knew it was a piece of junk before you bought it. You knew Spirit Airlines was funny when you bought the ticket. You knew they was going to make you catch the damn bus to the terminals way in the back so you could get on the plane. And you knew there was something funky about that. But you said, hell no, I want the $40 flight. You knew they wasn't going to have no refreshments or nothing like that. The leg room was going to be minimized. No screens on the back seat so you could watch TV. You knew all that. So why did you expect anything more from them when it came to refunding you your damn money? We love doing that. Bro, I'm telling you, I learned a lesson about this a long time ago. I was in a Hispanic market, right? And it was a black woman, right? She was in the grocery store going crazy, tripping. She had bought something and she used it and it was no good, so she wanted her money back, right? So, if you can go to Ralph's or Kroger, you could buy this bottle of water right here. You could drink that whole down till it's a sip. You could be like, oh man, this water tasted funny. Take it back, they'll give you your money back. All right, here go your $1. Here go your $1.50. They don't care. Throw it in the back, chalk it up. You take this same bottle back to a Mexican market or one of them little off the road, side of the road, little carnicerias or whatever, they're not taking this back. They will do just what you do. They will get ugly with you over a penny, over $1, over a quarter, right? Why? Because they're not operating at the same level as those other markets. The Mexican market by your house does not have the same market share as Kroger, right? So $1 for them, even though it's still nothing, it's the principle that they're operating on. We're a lower market. We can't let this become a trend. So we're going to deny this person, and we would rather lose that customer completely than honor that refund or that return and possibly create, an epidemic where people are chronically returning items, right? They're willing to risk your what you bring to their store so they can prevent something bigger. Ralph's them are like, this person spends $600 off their EBT card every month up in this store. Refunding $1 or $2 purchase or a $10 or $20 purchase is nothing. Refund it, give them their money back. We'll get it on the back end. That's the same thing with the airlines, y'all. American Airlines, United, Southwest. They're just operating at a higher standard than Spirit Air. So when it comes to, Spirit Air, bro, let's be real. They didn't even have customer service, barely. They had like no refunds on tickets. You miss your flight, you fuck, buy a new flight. They had no stand. Like, what makes you think that the people who wouldn't even give you a refund if you missed your damn flight and wouldn't even put you on another flight are suddenly going to be like, yeah, let's give you all back your money. So now they're going to string you along, right? They're going to string you along as long as they can to see if you forget about it. You just get tired or whatever. And hope you forget it, or you're going to have to go to the government, and the government's going to have to basically take legal action on your behalf, or you'll have to take legal action, which will be way more expensive than the little $42 you pay for the ticket to get your money back. Spirit Air took advantage of the fact that you guys just want low quality. You want the low price no matter what. Would you believe me if I told you that in some of our communities, especially the black community, just wanting the lowest price no matter what destroyed our economy in this country? I watched. I'm young enough. I'm old enough to remember. I watched the black-owned stores go out of business because the Asian-owned stores came in and put a sign that said 99 cents on the top of the store. You go in the damn store, ain't nothing 99 cents. But they knew that by creating the illusion of lower prices, you would abandon where you traditionally shopped and go shop with them. And then 9 times out of 10 end up paying more money in the long run. This is real. 100% build is met. Victim mentality coincides with accepting, not just accepting, desiring lower quality, lower standards, cheaper this, cheaper that, no matter what the cost is. It's some of y'all who buy tires at Walmart. And they do sell some good tires at Walmart. But you buying the real cheap, you buying the cheapo cheap at Walmart. The stuff that's like mostly just straight, like rubber, like it's not even going to last you 500 miles. But you buying them because you just like, I just need it right now. Hell, you might just go get the messed up tire you got patched up. I'm talking in this country, you know, as much wealth as we're around and we have proximity to, we really shouldn't have to settle for low quality in like subpar standards. And now you got to go to the Channel 7 News to find out how to try to get your money back.
Spirit Airlines was scheduled to operate 277 flights nationwide today, even more throughout the weekend, all of which were canceled.
And this right here is video of the final Spirit Airlines flight making its final landing at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport last night. Thousands of stranded passengers now wonder how will they get to their destinations or back home.
And now a handful of other airlines, including United, JetBlue, and Southwest, are offering Spirit customers discounted rates. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo has more from the newsroom. Anthony.
But Tanya, Joe, other airlines, as you said, jumping in to help with those discounted fares, of course, temporarily. For example, JetBlue is running a $99 rescue fare special through the beginning of next week. But remember, with high demand and limited availability, rebooking might not be the easiest. For the thousands of people caught off guard, Spirit Airlines disappearing into thin air in the middle of the night. Travel experts say if you haven't already acted fast, you need to.
You need to rebook yourself ASAP. So look at Frontier, American, United, for example.
Other airlines are stepping up to the plate with price-capped one-way tickets for Spirit customers, reduced fares on overlapping routes, but don't be fooled by the expectation of a bargain.
Well, here's the thing, too. I thought they said that allowing Spirit to merge with JetBlue would eliminate competition. Ain't that what they said? Oh, we can't let them merge because if we let them merge, that'll eliminate competition. Well, it clearly ain't eliminating too much competition because now those same airlines are stepping up to get the Spirit Airline customers who are stranded back home. So it just really be bullcrap. It really be BS. You could have let Spirit merge with JetBlue, and this collapse would have never even happened. But nah, politicians getting in the way. And you know what's funny? Why aren't the same politicians who created the situation that caused Spirit Airline to go out of business, why aren't they creating a situation where they can help these people get home? Now capitalism got to come save the day. Well, we'll give you a $99 ticket from wherever to get home. See, I'm not making it racial. Shut up, Bill. Bill, come up here and tell me how I'm making it racial. Bill, come up here and tell me how I'm making it racial. Bill is clearly one of these people who pretends, oh man, race is not a real thing. Race is a real thing. That's why when you go to a job fill out a job application, they got different groups on there. Well, ethnicities, right? And then on top of that, well, let me stay on topic. I'll talk to you, Bill, in a second. Because you don't even make sense.
Of a bargain at every turn.
There are going to be options, but they are going to be more expensive options. And we want travelers to be aware that it's already a more expensive market.
Transportation expert Katie Nastro says Spirit customers are entitled to a refund under federal regulations. Spirit says it is giving refunds if you paid by credit, or debit.
You would call your credit card and say that you're unable to basically get the services not rendered. There is no airline to provide that service. And so that actually could be faster than trying to get a refund through Spirit.
Travelers are not the only ones affected. About 17,000 airline workers are now without a job. The president of TWU Local 570 writing, "Our guest service agents are understandably upset and very concerned about their future. We will be doing everything we can to assist them through this traumatic time, including facilitating their transition to any available jobs at other airlines where the TWU represents workers. We're also demanding more information from the company on wages owed, unused vacation time, and benefits, such as health care."
There's demand for aviation workers. So even American and United have drafted or crafted microsites for Spirit employees to potentially jump the line, jump the queue, and get preferential treatment in the application process.
And by the way, for travelers, if you no longer use the same credit card you used to book your flight with Spirit, you can't get a refund, and you have to take it up with the U.S. bankruptcy court. That's according to what Spirit has right now on its website.
And we know y'all was using green dot cards. We know you was using green dot cards. Y'all money is gone. Money is gone. So somebody said a lie in the comments. They said, "Oh, there's a jet fuel shortage. Why does that impact us?" Y'all, like, Bruce Leroy, I love you. And I'm not coming at you. I'm just telling you, y'all got to do some research. There's a jet fuel shortage. Of course, a discount airline that operates on the margin is going to go belly up. No, the jet fuel shortage is only affecting Europe and Asia. That ain't affecting us. That's not affecting us. If you look at the stats, the United States is largely self-reliant, self-sufficient in jet fuel. We produce the vast majority of our supply domestically through our extensive refinery network. While it is a net exporter of jet fuel, we actually send jet fuel to other countries. Certain coastal regions remain structurally dependent on foreign import due to internal logistics and pipeline constraints. And what that means when it says internal logistics, that means that they're signing on to stupid green energy deals. And then they say the pipeline, well, if you can't get it through the pipeline, ship it across land with a truck or however you got to do it. But we're literally sending jet fuel out of the country. So that I keep telling y'all, stop making it like, oh, the war in Iran. It ain't that simple. We love to try to reduce things down to the simplest form, right? But that's not the way that works. Spirit Airline went out of business because they were a poorly managed airline. And when they tried to merge with JetBlue, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg blocked the merger. They knew they knew they were going downhill. They knew they were going downhill, 100%. But instead of allowing them to do what they had to do within the laws of capitalism, they blocked it, talking about, oh, if they merge with JetBlue, that will reduce competition in the market. Well, doesn't them going out of business reduce competition in the market? Just chalk it up. The Democrats did this. This one is squarely on the Democrats. This one is squarely on the Democrats. They doing too much regulation, too much trying to tell people how to run their business like they're experts. And it cost us an airline. It cost y'all them cheap tickets, right? But yeah, so basically you ain't getting no refund from Spirit Airlines. Chalk it up, move on. I don't even know a person who got time to cry about $40, $99, man. You better get on. You better get on like you've been spit on. But yeah, Bill, I don't think I'm the ignorant one, Bill. I think that's you, Bill. Yeah, so we're going to get into our next story. This is crazy. SCSU, South Carolina. So a lot of people say, like this guy, Bill, he's mad. Your coach is always making things about race. we live in a melting pot in this country. Race is a thing. And when I say race, I don't mean like the human race. I mean like color and ethnicity is a thing. And the more people try to act like it's not a thing, the worse off our country gets. Because when one side acts like color and ethnicity don't play a role in people's unique experience in America, it allows the other side to weaponize that ignorance against them. And that's what the Democrat Party is doing to the Republican Party. They're simply weaponizing the Republican parties, the conservatives, and I'm a Republican. They're weaponizing this tendency within conservative spaces to act like there's no such thing as color and ethnicity, i.e. race, right? But it's not something that we should try to eliminate. I think we can acknowledge the unique struggle of every group in the country based on their ethnic identity, their cultural identity, and their cultural experience, while at the same time showing those people that if they stop focusing so much on that and start focusing on the things that we have in common, their life will improve greatly. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can. When I call out race, I do it when I think, culture and ethnicity is impacting us in a negative way. I'll give you a prime example. I did a whole show. There is a guy running for California governor, Javier Becerra. Well, some people call him Xavier, but I know his name is probably Javier. But Xavier Becerra, right? He is a Mexican. That guy, well, let me verify that because I know he's Hispanic. He's a Latino. Let me make sure he's Mexican. I'm betting he's Mexican, though. Yes, he is the son of Mexican-American immigrants in Sacramento. Yes, so his parents were Mexican. So there's this guy, Javier Becerra, right? And he's running for for California governor. He's a horrible politician. He's very bad. He is just like Gavin Newsom, who 99% of Californians cannot stand, right? Okay. Part of why Javier Becerra went from polling 2% in the polls, he didn't even have enough support to get on the debate stage in California. But the Hispanic population in California, the first debate was supposed to be held at USC. They boycotted that debate, went out there, acted a fool to the point where USC canceled the debate and said they acted up because it was too many white people on stage. So what do? Let's pretend like race doesn't exist and it's not playing a factor in what's going on. No, it is. Because there are some people who are going to make every decision politically based on race no matter what. So in my state, because I'm from California, I'm going to speak out against the fact that too many Hispanic people, because there's a lot of Hispanic people who got sense in California, but too many Hispanic people are willing to vote along purely ethnic lines to the point that they are about to put somebody in, because they got a lot of numbers, we are running the risk of putting someone in power who will be Gavin Newsom 2.0. I will acknowledge their unique experience as Hispanics, Mexican Americans. I will acknowledge that there's a real fear of ICE deporting some of their family members and all that stuff. I will acknowledge that that's something that they deal with that my group, blacks, don't have to deal with in Los Angeles like that, right? I acknowledge that because I have to acknowledge that to be able to get them to understand, hey, even though I get that you fear this and that this is a problem in your community, and I sympathize with you, but you cannot. If you vote this guy in power, you think you're gonna win, but you're gonna lose because he still is bound by the laws of the federal government. So if you vote him in, he's not going to be able to do much anything that Gavin Newsom wasn't already trying to do. So you're throwing your vote away. And what he will do on top of that, right, is he will raise your taxes. And he will keep this draconian gas tax in place. So you're really shooting yourself in the foot thinking he's going to be able to do something that he cannot do by law. He will be arrested, right? But I have to acknowledge their experience. Understand that. And if you don't acknowledge their experience, you can't even, the door will always be shut to you. Oh, race don't matter. That's the lazy cracker way of approaching everything. And I'm not saying no cracker like just a white person. I'm saying a cracker as an ignorant white person. Just like I said no good nigga as in an ignorant black person. That dude is being, you're being ignorant. And that's why a lot of people have issues with white folks, because the dismissive nature of some white people who are very ignorant. I'm with you. I'm a conservative. I voted for Trump 3 times. I'm down with it. I'm MAGA just as much as anybody else. But I understand that, no, you're not going to reach these people by just totally dismissing their lived experience. You're not. You're not going to reach nobody like that. You're not even going to reach black people like that. That's why it takes someone who has a understanding and some type of connection to talk to these people. I didn't grow up around Mexican people my whole life. I grew up in high school going to war with Mexicans. I understand where they're coming from. I do. But at the same time, this is a nation of laws. And you can't let your experience sour you to the point where you're willing to overthrow your own nation just because you feel sorry for somebody because they look like you. Because I ain't going to overthrow America because I feel sorry for for George Floyd. Like, what? And one thing about me, I spoke up against black people who tore shit up over George Floyd. I'm going to speak up against Mexicans or Hispanics who try to tear shit up on behalf of illegal immigrants. But I'm going to say to them, look, man, I'm not just talking and telling you to do something I'm not willing to do. I spoke out against the George Floyd situation, right? I spoke out against that. That was wrong to do. The same way I'm telling you what you're doing is wrong to do. Race and all that, yeah, I get it. But ain't none of that got nothing to do with what you're doing right now that's hurting our country, that we all got to live in. So, yeah, I'm never going to just be dismissive of people's unique experience. There's no way I'm going to do that. I can't even do it because I know that there are certain things that they'll experience that I'll never experience. There are certain things I'll experience that they'll never experience, right? No other group will ever experience the expectation of every woman thinking you're supposed to be hung like a racehorse and you walking around with 2 inches. Black dudes have that stigma. We deal with that. We deal with that pressure. Damn, she think I'm supposed to be Mandingo hanging down to my ankle socks. Little does she know I'm working with a twig and 2 berries, dude. No other group gets stigmatized like that. No other group has that pressure walking into the bedroom. Now, if you packing meat, you packing heat, and you white, Asian, Mexican, that's a bonus. But at the end of the day, she wasn't expecting much. So it's all uphill from there. Black dude, you better know it. Buddy Yeti, am I lying? Am I lying? I'm not lying. I'm being real with you. That's something we deal with uniquely as a group of people in this country. Right? Straight up. It's like black women. If they yell to defend themselves, so everybody gonna say, oh, she ghetto, she aggressive. That's the stigma they deal with. A lot of it's true, but that's something they deal with, right? But you're gonna get nowhere in America Can y'all see me? Sticker. I don't know what happened right here. But you're not going to get nowhere in America walking around like you don't got to pay attention or care about somebody's unique ethnic or racial experience. I mean, I hope everybody understands what I'm saying there, bro. Like, we not doing that. We ain't dismissing shit. Yeah, we back. I don't know what the hell was going on with this. But anyway, hey, do you guys mind this camera? This camera is like my integrated camera. I like the M50 better, but the M50 be like cutting off every 30 minutes and all that. So I'm about to give me another 4K camera. But until then, I might just rock with this. I think this is actually better for just the continuity and consistency. You don't like this one? You guys like the other one better? Which one looks better? That one or this one, which is for some reason suddenly not wanting to work. That looks better? That one looks better, huh? Y'all tell me, which one looks better? This one that we on right now? This one we on right now? Or this one? The other one has a warmer color. Put a 1 for the warmer color, put a 2 for this one, the integrated. Stick with the one that works. They both look cool. All right, cool. But yeah, man. Yeah. So I might just do that. But this looks so much cleaner. This is clean as hell. Like, gives you a little yellow hue and all that. Okay. One is this one. This is the one. But yeah, but you're right. It ain't really much different. This is in 1080p. This one is in 720p. So, but anyway, so yeah, so I just want to point that out. And what everything I just said, it kind of goes into our next story, where we talk about this damn HBCU, and how these idiotic students, they're basically under fire from the federal government. South Carolina State University. They are going to have their commencement during their graduation, right? And basically they're in trouble. So let's see what they're doing. Because they don't want the lieutenant governor of their state to speak at their school saying she's MAGA and she doesn't share their values. And what people don't understand is one of the founding principles that this country is built on is like political tolerance. And, you know, people will talk about somebody discriminating against them based on race and then turn around and discriminate against someone else based on their political preference, not realizing that both are incredibly wrong. So I can't discriminate against you because you black, but you could discriminate against me because I'm a Republican. Like, it's dumb. It's like discrimination is discrimination. And to me, discriminating along political lines is kind of worse. Because it's like, you're not even trying to understand where I'm coming from. You're just trying to shut me down. And who of you believes that these women going against this lady could really explain the MAGA platform or even the Democrat platform effectively?
Today's top searches are only part of the story. A simple scroll can set the whole. It's time. We're following your clicks and head to the university. We will speak to student protest first, and then we will break it down. We've got our Faith Abube and up first, and then we will speak to student protest leader Cameron Sutton. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with Faith, who's been following this story for us. Faith, first of all, welcome to Search. But why are Republican lawmakers in South Carolina calling to defund the state's only HBCU?
Well, Ashton, this is a story that a lot of people have been talking about, getting a buzz from a lot of people, not just in South Carolina. And right now, lawmakers, according to a post that was shared by the lieutenant governor of South Carolina, they're circulating, some Republicans in the state house are circulating a letter asking for the university to be unfunded in the next spending bill that is coming up here soon. And the reason being that the lieutenant governor was uninvited as a commencement speaker at that university, the HBCU, South Carolina State University. Students started protesting earlier this week, saying that they did not want her to be on campus to be their commencement speaker. And the university decided to uninvite her. And now Republicans are pushing back, calling this inexcusable. And it's shameful that a university that is funded by taxpayers has now uninvited a political leader who they do not agree with. And that is how they're framing it. We don't know how much support this has just yet, but we know a handful of Republicans have signed on to that letter, Ashton.
Yeah, Faith, what are some of the motivations behind those protests? Like, why was the South Carolina's lieutenant governor actually uninvited? How did the pressure get to the university?
Well, students found out earlier this week that she was invited back in December, according to her, invited in December to be the commencement speaker. The university said they invited her because she's an entrepreneur. She's a female entrepreneur who started a small business and grew it to a multi-million-dollar corporation. And so they wanted her to come speak to the students in a way that would inspire them. But the students were not having it.
Okay, so you got a bunch of black students, right? Ignorant as can be. This woman is an entrepreneur. Like they said there, she took a very small business, grew it to a multi-million-dollar company. She parlayed that to becoming the lieutenant governor of the state you live in. I don't care if you like him or not. I don't care if you agree with her politics or not. There's something you can learn from that lady. There's something you can learn from that lady. Her politics don't have nothing to do with her ability to run a business. Her politics don't have nothing to do with her ability to scale it up into the multi-millions of dollars and parlay that into her becoming lieutenant governor. Why wouldn't you want to learn from that person? You could go up to that lady afterward, meet her, exchange information, and you got a resource at your disposal. But that's the key to ignorance. The things you do hurt you more than they help you. She's going to be silenced so they could bring Cornel West, somebody who ain't never built shit, to come talk jive to you. And you're going to leave just as dumb and ignorant as you were when you walked in the door. The woman is a success. She's a successful person. There are successful people who are Democrats. There are successful people that are Republicans. The lieutenant governor right here, if she lose her job, she ain't got to get on the TV and cry like somebody like Jasmine Crockett because she don't know what she going to do next. But this is what we do. This is why I keep telling y'all, the Democrats party has trained black folks like a dog to fight against our own best interests.
They found out, according to them specifically, about the way she's been doubling down on cutting DEI initiatives. These are diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives on a historically black college and university campus, an HBCU. South Carolina State University is the only HBCU in the state of South Carolina. And it's also part of a bigger system across this country that started before the 1960s because black people were being discriminated against. And so these students took issue with the fact that the university was inviting someone who wanted to gut DEI initiatives.
Well, this is what I'm telling you. How do you even have DEI at an all-black school? If you just, and see, this is why I couldn't just be around a bunch of black people in the South like that. How do you have DEI at an all-black institution? Everybody black. Ain't nobody being discriminated against because they black. So you just going to get the best, right? You're just going to say, hey, the best out of all these blacks is who going to get the opportunity. It's stupid. A HBCU protesting over cutting of DEI. Guys, there is no DEI at a HBCU. Who's the minority? Everyone's a minority, duh. So how can you have DEI there? This is BS. They don't like this lady because she supports Donald Trump. And they've been told they can't support Donald Trump. That's it. They don't know why. They can't break it down to you. Dean Withers, this little white boy, Midas Touch, he can't even break it down. He could talk and say a bunch of lies. So if he can't break it down, I doubt any of these people gonna break it down because no black person could really tell you how Donald Trump has hurt them. Donald Trump is Mexicans and Hispanics and illegal immigrants get hurt by Donald Trump. But this was a reason to walk out of class, act a fool, and we don't want that white lady talking to us.
Yeah, just seeing the video right now, Faith, of these protests, they certainly look active. How's the lieutenant governor actually responding?
Well, she's defiant. She's unapologetic. She says she's not going to apologize. In fact, she called the student
Defiant. Woo-woo.
protesters woke mobs and said that the fact that she's been uninvited is another reason why DEI initiatives need to be cut from college university campuses because, in her words, students are being indoctrinated. Ashin.
Faith, thank you so much. Let's now bring in South Carolina State University student protest leader.
They are 100% being indoctrinated. I've never even watched this video, but I bet you the protest leader is a black woman, and I bet she's overweight.
Cameron Sutton, he's on campus right now. Cameron, why did students protest Lieutenant Governor as the commencement speaker? And what's it like on campus now? How's the sentiment been like for you?
So for us, it was mainly just about the morals. We understand that she doesn't stand for what we stand for, so we wouldn't allow her the opportunity to speak here. We understand that she is an amazing woman, but just her moralities and the things she stands for, like taking away DEI, for HBCU, it just can't.
So she's an amazing woman, but because she doesn't stand for what we stand for, she can't speak. So if she doesn't agree with us, this is socialism. This is what's being pushed into our black minds on a college level. If someone doesn't agree with you, you silence them. You become a dictatorial authoritarian that you accuse Trump of being. See, everything they accuse you of being, that's what they are. I could sit up and, if someone's a Catholic and someone's a Buddhist, they could sit at a table and have a conversation and be civilized. If someone is a Muslim and someone is a Christian, they could sit at the table and be civilized. But if she don't agree with what we think on politics, she can't even come up here. That's bullcrap. Pure hypocrisy. The same discrimination black people claim that we was fighting against in the 60s with civil rights. We didn't go full circle. Well, we didn't did a 180. And now we are the very thing we claim to be fighting against.
We had on our campus, and it's amazing on camp. We all are filled with energy that is due for a win, energy that deserves to be shown during our win.
Yeah, Cameron, how did you and other student protest leaders react to the calls to defund your school? Did you see that coming when the protest started? And how are you guys responding now?
100%. I had to get this comment. Black people are the poster child for DEI, and it doesn't even benefit us. 100%. It's a proven fact that white women benefited from DEI more than any other group in America. So if this white woman wants to cut DEI, she's hurting her own group. She's hurting her own group more than anybody. So why do we have a problem with that? That's the part that's killing me. Why do we have such an issue with it? It don't make sense. It does not benefit you, especially if you're a black male. But you out here acting a fool over. And that's my thing. You got a whole group of college students. And I know some of them have to know that, or maybe they don't. Because in my experience, college students is the most ignorant people ever. Some of them. Nobody said, wait, y'all, DEI benefit white folks more than it benefit black folks. Why are we up here raising Cain over this mess? Nah, they don't care. As long as it gives them an opportunity to try to relive the 1960s, you know what I'm saying? And pretend like they Martin Luther King. They're going to act the fool.
Ashin.
Faith, thank you so much. Let's now bring in South
HBCU.
How are you guys responding now? You and other student protest leaders react to the calls to defund your school. Did you see that coming when the protest started? And how are you guys responding now?
No, we never seen it coming. But we understood that standing on what we believe will always come with repercussions when you have somebody that doesn't believe in the same thing as you.
Cameron, what's the response now? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Finish.
Yeah, Cameron, what's the response now? I mean, how do you take these sort of threats to be defunded and translate them into making sure that you guys achieve what it is that you'd like to see happen?
Well, one, we hope that they are just threats because this is not their first time trying to defund a school for using their First Amendment right. Also, we understand that the only way we can change this is by voting. We must go out to the polls. We must register to vote. And come November, we must vote. We must act on what we say. If every student we have at the protests for these last 2 days, these protests that will happen within this week, that may ever happen, as long as you go vote, we can change, and that can be the change.
Cameron, you're just a sophomore. Do you feel supported by the university in this time?
No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, he
yes,
does?
Sir. I know
Okay.
it's nothing but love for my Bulldogs family. Bulldog tenacity and Bulldog pride is something that runs deep within all of our veins. So being out there protesting, standing up for our school and what we believe, it felt amazing, and it made me understand how one person can bring everybody together, but it just only doesn't take one person.
Yeah, Cameron, how do you hope to use this experience to move forward? Especially, I guess it matters what the outcome actually is, but what are you and other student protest leaders hoping to do next?
We hope to get people out to the ballots and vote. We hope that people will stay educated on their legislation, their government, and every chain of command that there is. Being educated can protect you from so much, because if we were uneducated, if we were the mob that she said we would have never protested.
He doesn't even realize how uneducated he is. I said once, I'll say it again. DEI primarily benefited white women. So how is eliminating DEI hurting you? You're at an HBCU. There's no DEI there, essentially because everyone's black, so there's no minority. This is ignorant. This is ignorant. And no one's like, they stand around, who gonna tell them? There's adults at the school, but they're nothing but a bunch of agents trying to indoctrinate the youth anyway, so they're happy to see this type of ignorant. And he'll be ignorant. He's ignorant now, and if he don't change his ways, he'll be ignorant at 50 and 60 and 70 like Cornel West and them.
Who have never been out there. But because we understand what is at stake and we understand what she stands for,
what's at stake?
We cannot let her speak and try to encourage students that she can never truly encourage.
Cameron, I appreciate you, man. Still ahead.
So if you're not black and you don't agree with DEI, you can't encourage people? That is so stupid. And the same guy will get a degree and go work at a company that's run by a conservative Republican. Ain't that a bunch of hooey, as they say? He'll go get a job with a company that is owned and run by a conservative Republican Trump supporter and be bragging about how much money he's making. These guys are so full of baloney. But guys, that's all I got for you today. The saga continues, so to speak. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be back tomorrow. We may be back early tomorrow. I think I might, I don't know. I'm trying to do this thing a bit earlier, so I have the rest of the day to kind of work on clips and all that stuff. So, let me know. Y'all could always throw out time suggestions, whatever. Do me a favor. Join us on Discord. We are in Discord. The link is at the top of the chat. I finally downloaded Discord to my actual phone. So I'm in there. I've been in there chopping up with people all day. Right? Come in the Discord. We can always continue these conversations. Yeah. Claudette Olivier. I don't know your name, but you can't wipe Cornell's shoes. You can't debate Cornell. Yeah, no one has to debate Cornell. Candace Owens crushed Cornel West because he's a shucker and a driver. You can beat anyone in a debate when they build everything up on lies like Cornel West does. Cornell is the pro blackity black married to a Mexican. That I win. I win. That's why the game's called I Win. These dudes are not real, bro. These are communists, socialists, who make money off of capitalists. Who Cornel West work for? Let's be real. Emderline. Hey, what did I skip over of you? What did I do? I'm sorry. The chat is moving kind of fast. The graduation ceremony is for the students. If they want a different speaker, why isn't that good enough for you? That's the whole thing. Did all the students unanimously say they didn't want her there? And when the person is chosen because they feel that person has something they could offer those students. Every useful thing you ever heard or learned, you only learn from someone who agrees with you on everything. You could have got in there and they could have gave the most inspirational commencement speech ever. It's not a campaign rally. It's not a political event. She's there because she's there to talk about, give them encouragement going forward. So why are they making it a political event? And I'm going to say it again. DEI don't even benefit black folks, black males especially. The decision is rooted in ignorance. If they were like, yeah, she takes money from Israel, I can understand that. Now, this is just rooted in ignorance. And unless every student on that campus was like, we don't want her there, all ideas have to have a chance to be represented in America. That's why this is America. That is it. That's it. All ideas have to have a space in our institutions, whether you agree with it or not. You know, there's people who don't like Barack Obama. But if Barack Obama was coming to the school and 100 students protest, they'll be like, screw you, it's Obama. Yeah, it's okay when Joe Biden makes graduations political. But they're just like, listen, all I'm saying is you do not want, what's up, Jacote? You do not want these type of people run in charge of your country in 20, 30 years. These people are operating purely based on emotion. That's not going to end well for them or anyone else. Now we got the personal insults. You need to get off YouTube and lose some weight, heart attack risk. What does that have to do with anything, Claudette? Slavery is an idea. It gets space. Get UFOA. Slavery is an idea. What the hell? No one supports slavery. What are you talking about? No one supports slavery. If someone wants to go to a college to talk about slavery, yes, they should be allowed to do so. What do you mean? We cannot be this ignorant. Their ideas are not going to hurt you. See, hey, I'm telling you, black community used to be open-minded. Hey, let's talk to anybody. Let's learn. Let's see what we can learn. Now we want to be ignorant. Like what you guys got to understand is the reason you've now become intolerant of anything that you don't agree with is because if you learn about someone or something, it makes it harder for you to pretend like they're victimizing you. That's all it's about. I'm telling you, in my community, we prefer to stay ignorant about a person's personality, their ideas, and their position, because if we learn about them, it makes it harder for us to pretend to be oppressed by them. And that's it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Besides Chad, Matt Mahan, mayor of San Jose, is the best candidate among the Dems, but he's trailing. Hopefully he stays in long enough to gain traction. He's not the best candidate. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. 100%. They're all fraudulent. They're all fraudulent. On the Democrat side, they got no good people. Mahan is a fraud too, I'm trying to tell you. But the majority of students, no, it's not for the students. Again, more sophistry. And you've created your own space. So what I've said to you isn't difficult to follow. Your argument is disingenuous. What are you talking about? It's for the students, right? Right, it's for the students. But the administration decide who comes to speak on commencement. I don't care about them banning the lady. I'm just saying, why is the reason for banning the lady rooted in pure ignorance? It makes no sense what this guy said. Chakotay, true. If someone wants you to hate someone, he doesn't give you enough information about them. Right. That's why we don't want to know. We reject at the gate. MAGA, we ain't listening. Bro, I'm telling you, you know how many black folks I spoke to who don't like me? Then I speak to them one-on-one and we talking. They're like, nah, but I agree with you, though. You saw that when I was on No Jumper. Them gang members was like, nah, but you right, though. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, but if they are able to cut me off before I can say a word, they can stay ignorant. They can stay angry at me. They can stay charged against me because they're like, I don't even know what he really believes, and I don't want to know. That is the key sign of ignorance right there. And I'm just not an ignorant person, and I'm not going to make space or defend ignorant people. But you guys, thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for me in this channel. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.